I did not learn anything new today, day 4, and I did not cover a single new topic. I spent the entire day stuck in practice problems, basic math problems I could not solve. Python loops that were not working the way I expected. Today was not productive day in the way day 1, 2, and 3 were, and I think it was the most important day of the 4. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Days 1 to 3, I was learning new concepts, absorbing information, taking notes, everything felt like progress because everything was new. Day 4, I tried to actually use what I had learned and I found the gaps, the places where I thought I understood something but did not actually understand it deeply enough to apply it under pressure. That is the real test, not whether you can follow along with a lecture, whether you can solve a problem along with no hints. Every person who has ever built anything serious knows this feeling. The first thing time you sit with a blank page and try to actually apply what you have been studying and it does not come. That is not failure. That is where real understanding is built, in the resistance, in the friction, in being stuck. Let me take you through exactly where I got stuck today. Modulus inequality problems. The theory I understood when I sat with harder problems, compound modulus inequalities, expressions with variables on both sides. I kept getting the wrong solution sets. I was splitting the cases correctly, doing the algebra correctly, but arriving at wrong answer. What was wrong? I was not checking my solutions back in the original inequality. I was trusting the algebra without verifying. In maths, especially in inequalities, you must always substitute your answer back and confirm it satisfies the original conditions. I was skipping that step. Every wrong answer today came from that one habit. Exponential equation problems, these were the harder than I expected problems. Involving two exponential terms with a different basis, I had no clean method. I kept trying to force log rules where substitution was the right approach. Today taught me that knowing a method and knowing when to use it are two completely separate skills. Second half of the day, Python practice. Loops and conditionals problems were from CS50. The problem that took the longest. I was trying to write a loop that printed a pyramid of hashes like the ones in CS50 problem sets. The outer loop for the rows I got immediately, the inner loop for the spaces before each row. I spent 55 minutes on that one loop. The issue I was thinking about the spaces as a fixed thing when they are actually dependent on the row number. As the row number increases, the spaces decreases. I kept treating them as independent when they are related. Once I wrote it on paper, rows as a table, spaces as a column, the pattern was obvious. The number of spaces equals total rows minus current row. One line of code, 55 minutes to find it. Conditionals logic nested if as this I found more intuitive than loops. The challenge was keeping the logic clean when there were 4 or 5 conditions to check. I kept writing conditions that overlapped where two branches could both be true at the same time. Fix. Write the most specific condition first, most specific to least specific, top to bottom. This is a rule. I am adding it to my notebook. Programming is not writing code. It is breaking a problem into small enough pieces that each piece become obvious. Around hour 9 today, something shifted. I had been stuck on the same category of math problem for 2 hours, frustrated, tempted to move on and come back later. I did not move on. I stayed with it. And somewhere in the 10th attempt at the same problem type, the pattern appeared. I could see it not just for this problem, for the entire category. I did the next 8 problems of the same type without making a mistake. That feeling where something that was opaque for hours becomes completely transparent. That is the feeling I am chasing every day for the next 361 days. You cannot get there without the 2 hours of friction before it. The struggle is not separate from the breakthrough. The struggle is what creates it. I want to share a technical decision I made today because I think the reasoning behind it matters. I was considering installing Linux as a dual boot on my laptop. My laptop is my only machine. If something goes wrong, bootloader corruption, partition issues, driver problems, I could lose days of study time. That risk is too high right now. Instead, I installed WSL2, Windows subsystem for Linux 2, a full Ubuntu Linux terminal running inside Windows, no partitioning, no bootloader risk. Every Linux command I learned in TCM security, bash, APT, file system, navigation, all of it works inside WSL2. My content creation tool stays on Windows. My Linux development environment runs inside WSL2. One machine, both worlds, no risk. The right tool is the one that does the job without creating new problem. WSL does that. Dual boot at this stage creates unnecessary risk. 4 days in here is where I stand. Basic math, the foundations is solid. Today I tested it under pressure and found the gaps. I felt them. The foundation is now solid in a different way, not just understood in theory, but verified through problems. Python's loops and conditions working, not just conceptually. I can write them from scratch, debug them, and reason through them. A physics engine is not built by someone who followed lectures. It is built by someone who can sit with a problem for 2 hours and not quit. Today was practice for exactly that. Day 4 done. Tomorrow day 5. I will try to complete my basic maths rest of the part. I am going to understand it or not memorize it. Understand it from first principle. If today was the hardest day, so far tomorrow is the most important day. So far 361 days remaining. Subscribe. See you tomorrow. Jai Hind.